Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Family DynamiKs. It's Liz.
And Katherine.
And Ed. And John.
And we have a special guest, our sister Rosemary.
Hello.
Very nice, Rosemary. Hi, nice to have you.
Nice to have you.
Thank
okay.
you.
So Rosie's been helping me along with Gigi and John. And of course, shout out to my husband, Mark. We decided to sort of switch up the whole bedroom situation in my house this week.
Right, you're flip-flopping Ethan and your office and maybe something else.
Well, yeah, we had a guest bedroom.
Was that name of the bedroom
It was Mark's,
among the helpers?
No, it was Mark's changing room. Mark's closet.
He got annexed out of your closet in your bedroom.
Right. Wait, John, is there another name I did not know about?
No, you just said bedrooms, and it's Ethan. But then I was talking about the list of helpers.
Oh, are you saying Ethan was a helper?
Not really.
You didn't list him. I'm just asking.
Let's put that in air quotes because helping, he did to some, yes, you are. I'm just thinking of the real got in there and did the work. I actually think Virginia did work with Ethan and really kind of
She was
a taskmaster.
She wrangled him a
Yeah,
bit.
I think so. But then a lot of times I wasn't with him because I think as the mother, he will, I don't want to say misbehave, but it's like he will go along more with his aunt than possibly me.
It's a different
for
vibe.
sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that, you're right, John. I may have not seen all of the Ethan activity. So he started high school this week,
Oh
and
my God, that is so crazy.
It is.
I want to hear about that. But
and he has been in the same bedroom, like, you know, a lot of people. I mean, most people growing up, your childhood bedroom is your childhood bedroom your whole life. But we only had one kid. So at a certain point, I started to think about how can we consolidate that teenage hormonal energy? Because it's a lot.
well, I think the main thing, layout-wise, the bathroom that he was using is sort of
On the opposite, it was on the
yeah, and more
across
attached,
the hall.
Yeah,
across the
more
hall.
attached to your office, and so he was constantly coming through your office space, you know, in a towel, like in and out of the shower. It's like, okay, maybe that would be a good suggestion.
Awkward, yeah.
Well, and that was also an evolution because he used to be, you know, carryover from True Child. He was your actual bathroom. So this was this new
Right.
thing.
Yeah,
of a
when he was
new
in a bathtub.
Bathtub.
Yeah, when we bought the house, it had 3 bathrooms, but not one bathtub.
Oh,
And in the main bathroom, there was 3 doors.
3 doors.
There was one to the hallway, one to the bedroom, and one to the outside side yard, like the
What?
side access. And I was like, wow. I mean,
This is a
I
very
don't remember
accessible
that one.
bathroom.
yeah, if a fire happens and you are on the toilet, you are going to be able to get out. I mean, I was like, holy crap. But then I walked around and we'd already put a bid on the house and we were not pregnant. We knew we wanted to have a kid, but, you know, we were not even pregnant. And I didn't realize until we'd actually put a bid on the house, like I said, oh my gosh, there's not one bathtub. And I mean, I do know enough about kids because the 2 sisters had them before me.
Oh,
You
there's
need a
long,
bathtub.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a long period where it's all baths.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
holy crap. So then we requested, you know, can we get access to the house to basically look at, we're going to need to put in a bathtub eventually. So is
Somewhere.
there some place that there can be one?
We'd like to not have a money pit situation and have it fall through. Where's it going to fit?
Yeah, well, we do have
That's
2
interesting.
floors.
So you're saying in your main bedroom, bathroom, little ensuite situation, there was no tub there?
No, they had taken the tub out and they'd put that door.
Oh, so that they could have the door.
Yeah, so they could
Oh my
have
God,
a
that's
door
hysterical. All
access
right.
out to the outdoors, which there's a door in the bedroom to the outdoor. I mean, I don't know, like I said, how many escape
Liz is
routes they
skipping
needed.
like a minor factor about the house.
What?
It was a group home. And so at the time when you bought the house as a group home, there are certain standards that they have to meet. So there has to be an egress from every space.
Oh,
so
that's interesting.
probably, so like if somebody was in the bathroom and fell, they would be able to get to the, I don't know. Like,
Well,
They'd have-
that makes
like
sense.
they'd be able to get help to them.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because when we bought the house, the owners of the house had a son that was disabled, and then they took in 2 other
I
adult
see.
disabled, and then they got zoned for that. 3 like young adult
adults.
males living there. Like Rosie said, there were little elements you could tell that that's what the house may have been at one point, but it was so bizarre. Let me even take it further back. Okay, so we're about to do a remodel on our little cottage house because my father-in-law was a contractor, and we're like, all right, it's time to do a big
An overhaul.
An overhaul. And we did not plan to move. We loved the little neighborhood. I mean, we got that house for like a steal. I think it was like under $200,000.
I mean,
It
let's not
was
even
low.
talk
I think
about
it was like
numbers, yeah.
160.
It was crazy. It had a big backyard with a great pool. So we had no intention of moving. And we had drawn up plans. There was literally lumber in our backyard. But Mark, I've mentioned several times, if you listen to the podcast, my husband, goes to a Dodger game, partakes in the beverages, and gets in a very spirited debate with his friends about remodeling versus moving.
Right.
So he comes home and he's like, we should, before we plop a couple $100,000, because it was like I want to say it was like a $200,000. We were doing tons of stuff.
It was a lot. You had to get all your neighbors to sign off on it.
Right. It was a lot.
God, I don't remember this happening. I remember the house because it was kind of small, so it makes sense that you were looking at doing this.
Right. But it would have meant we were going to stay there.
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
years.
Yeah, forever, probably.
Yes. So basically we decided to look at homes before we said, whoa. And this is our father-in-law, my father-in-law, who's the contractor.
Yeah, so before you do that.
Basically to go, I know the lumber has been delivered. I know the plans have been drawn up, but just we'll wait. We're not starting next week. So my girlfriend, Heather McDonald, who now is the host of Juicy Scoop podcast, did have a previous life as a realtor with her parents. So
sort of part-time. I was going to say part-time, but she always did it in tandem with comedy and writing and all that.
Yes, very typical of anybody in Hollywood who is an actor, performer, stand-up writer. There's another slash that maybe
Something
is
else.
providing the daily income. So she was doing real estate with her parents. So she was my real estate agent. But I said, you don't need to do a big effort. Just send me a list of houses under this price in these areas. And I would like a pool because we had a pool. So she sends me a list, and Mark now is like almost not into it, but now I'm into it. And so Rosie and I decide, let's go look at these 4 houses just by ourselves.
We narrowed it down.
Right. So 2 of them were like, don't even bother getting out of the car. I mean, you could just tell.
It was weird because, we did go look at them by ourselves. So we were just having like owners walk us through, which is unusual. I mean, come on.
Well, what ended up being the most unusual thing, so like I said, 2 of them I don't even think we got out of the car. The next one was spitting distance from both our parents' houses.
Oh, gosh.
And the oven door, when you opened it, literally hit the cabinet on the other side.
Oh, no.
So you're like, well, this kitchen's going to be completely gutted. And at this price, I'm not getting this done for a while. So I'm like, ugh. So no. So then we go to the 4th house and we pull down the block, and Rosie goes, don't you remember this neighborhood?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it was, I had a best friend in, elementary school, this girl, Michelle. And she lived like 4 doors down from this house. And I looked at the house and I go, God, this house looks exactly like her house. And I go, if it is, the layout is excellent and the lot is a good size. But back then, this is not like you didn't have Zillow. We got a picture of the house. All you would get was like a spec sheet. And it would have a picture of the front of the house, and then it'd have all the specs, like, it's a 10,000 square foot lot, it's a 4,000 square foot house, blah, blah. So many bedrooms, so like you just have to imagine like what it's going to be like, and then you go and you're like, it's hideous, and all the houses around it are hideous. Now on Zillow, you can literally tour the neighborhood with the camera and go up and down the block, and then you could go on Google Map and see if somebody's a hoarder next door. You had to go. You had to go and see.
What's up with everyone's backyards in this neighborhood?
Yeah,
Ooh, never mind.
They've got 10 dogs.
Mark looks to go, oh my gosh, that person's pool is empty. That means tons of mosquitoes.
He's correct.
Yeah.
It's like, he's not wrong. But we hadn't put together that was the street Michelle lived on. And I don't think I remembered the name of the street. We just rode our bikes there. And it was like, Mom never picked me up. So
we had to ride our bikes.
Yeah, geographically where it was.
Yeah.
Not
and
the
she
actual.
had a pool, and her mom made awesome sun tea.
yes, and snacks, lots of snacks.
So we're like, hi, Rosie, I'll go to your friend's house with you. So I kind of remember the neighborhood too, but I was like, you think, Rosemary? You think Rosie goes, I think this is the street.
Yeah.
So we're debating all this in front of the house, and there's a for sale sign on, but we're not driving around on a Saturday.
It's not like an open house
no,
or anything.
But
No.
a realtor walks out with a couple right at that moment. And she goes, are you the next appointment? We're like, yes, we are.
Oh, God.
Because we think it's an empty house. So we go in, and we're like, we're honest girls. We're not going to do anything, but we
and
go
you were in the market to buy a house,
and Rosie,
potentially.
and Rosie looked like my real estate agent, and I looked like the client. So,
oh my God, how
role
funny.
play.
The shimmy shammy.
Instantly we walk in, I'm like, oh, this is like a great house. And I'm like, oh, this place is total shit. Like, I'm like, oh, yeah, Liz, bad. I'm like pinching her, like, we got to say how bad.
But no
So
one's
the
around
two of
us.
you walk in and you're like, okay, improv. All right. The scene is we're not interested. Okay,
Yes,
good.
exactly.
Which you're so funny. Like every real estate agent knows that.
That's the
I don't know about this. This carpet looks old.
Well,
This
everything
paint-
did need to be.
But we walked in,
Shined up a
yeah,
little bit,
it was. Let's just say it needed the home renovation of an HGTV show
it
that did
needed
not
just the
exist.
surface
Yes,
done.
but we were by ourselves, Rosie. There was no one with us because we thought the house was empty, but you could tell someone lived there. But back in the day, there was something called a lockbox. So real estate agent,
still have
They
them,
still
yeah.
do that.
I think
yeah.
they have a code now you got to enter.
Yeah.
But it used to be like a key. So a real estate agent could go and take their client and walk them through, and there'd be some way of knowing that, like, okay, God forbid something goes missing. It was that real estate agent's client. I don't know. But so she like held the door open for us. Otherwise, we would not have been able to get in. So we said, oh, thank you. We'll lock it when we leave. Well, I don't know what the hell we're going to do. So but we walked in. Clearly, there's someone living there. So we were like, oh,
But it had that weird vibe that a group home has, where it's like everything's
not-
kind of stark and not that clean, but kind of attempted to be clean. And
But you go, oh my gosh, these bones are awesome.
Yeah.
So we're walking around and go, oh my, are you kidding me? This price? I mean, I could tell why. I mean, it needed a complete interior gut.
It wasn't cosmetically very attractive.
But still,
No.
and then I go, oh, let's go look at the backyard pool. So we're going from bedroom to bedroom, and then we could tell, because, we didn't know any of the history of the home. Like, this is sort of odd. This is a little odd, but okay. Now we can make this work. Okay, there's this many bedrooms. Oh, there's this weird addition. They're using it as a bedroom. I would definitely not use it as a bedroom. I'd use it as a den. Okay, the kitchen's dated, but I mean, I was like, I can live with this dated kitchen.
yeah.
So Rosie and I are like, well, let's check out the backyard pool. And we're walking around like, now all facade in the improv is over because no one's around. So we're not acting as real estate agents. So we go out in the backyard and we're standing there talking underneath a covered patio. So we're all like, oh my gosh, is that a sports court? That's the pool. Oh my gosh, the gardening. I mean, we're just getting excited. We're like, oh my gosh.
It was a big yard.
Then we hear, hello. And the backyard's big. So someone is back by the pool, 2 people. And she goes, can I help you?
Oh, jeez.
We're like,
Oh, God, I don't remember that.
We're like, we're just here to see the house. And she's like, did you have an appointment? And we're like, no, but the last appointment said we should just come in. Like, freaking. She's like, well, this is a private home and we are not doing public showings. You need to leave. You need to leave right now. We're like,
Okay, bye.
we're like, okay, bye. And she's like, can I have your name? I thought, oh, I'm not going to give you my name
no.
because I think I gave a fake name.
Oh, my God.
I think I was like,
She's like, Katherine Kennedy.
yeah. Call the police on her.
What?
Citizens arrest. Because I was like,
I've never tried to imitate her before in my life.
because I
know,
certainly did
right?
not want, my name if I were to put an offer on this house.
Of course not.
So I'm like, we're leaving right now. So we walk out and I'm like, get in the car, get out of here. So we drive down the street and lo and behold, Rosie goes, that is Michelle's childhood home. And she goes, oh, and next door is another family. She goes, you're going to move into one of the iconic St. Mel blocks, which is our family parish. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. All right, I want to put a bid on this house. I definitely want to put a bid on this house.
But Mark hasn't seen it.
No, Mark has not seen it.
You're like, just trust me. And again, there's no Zillow, so
No.
he'll just have to
And you
trust
might be in trouble with the owner.
Yes.
So.
No, Katherine Kennedy
But I
was.
also feel like Mark's gonna actually sign on for this because it is in the right neighborhood. It's his neighborhood too, so it should feel like the same way you feel good about it.
Mark's a bit of
You
a
should get
doubting
that.
Thomas
You
when
should
it
get
comes
that
to
vibe.
me and Liz.
He did go a little bit like, well, and because we were screamed at being told there's only private showings, we put a bid on sight unseen. And Mark was able to see it when they accepted the offer for no more than, I don't even know if we got an hour.
What?
And that is when, circling back, I went, wait, because we were rushing through, like taking measurements, figuring out what we're doing. Because Mark said he walked in, saw the size of like the main rooms and the size of the backyard, and he was like, I'm in, and the neighborhood. So he was all on board. And poor Hal my father-in-law, lost the construction job.
That's all right. He milked that. Reno.
Yeah. So circling back, that is when I realized there was not a bathtub.
Got it.
And I was like, oh. And also I realized now most people, have homes, no judgment, pre-1980s. There's like a cabinet that would hang from the ceiling.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And so the space between the,
Right,
the countertop and the cabinet above it was actually not that wide. So I, had gone to cooking school, so I had now everybody has one, but like a stand-up mixer that you really can't store anyplace. They have to be out on your counter. They're so damn big. Well, I don't know who designed them. They do not fit under
counter. They're not like countertop with the old cabinets.
No.
The measurement's too low.
They're too tall.
Yeah, and my father-in-law he lost the previous job, but now we only were having him to come look at this house to possibly do like painting.
A zhuzh.
The lightest zhuzh. Because going back, we sold our house that was maybe we bought for like 180 at the most. It was under 200. We sold that house for like $700,000.
Wow.
Now,
I mean, crazy these numbers.
but the
then
problem
and
is
even now,
that
yeah.
the house we were buying was like 700,000.
Right.
So we were like tap. So it wasn't like we're in the money. It's like no, it all went
it's
to the next
all
house.
straight into the next
So
house.
yeah, no one asked me for a loan. We're still paying it out to this day. But but then we were like, okay, we want to paint it. We want to do some stuff to it. And literally was the whole kitchen where it was like, oh my gosh, I'm not even going to be able to, like, even the cabinets were too small. Like, there was no place.
It's also something we maybe have never mentioned on this podcast. The cabinet style at our mom's house is an over a center island cabinet style. It is taller
That's
than
what it was.
You can get underneath it. It's not a service counter. It is open into the kitchen. You can see like an open counter. Whereas mostly that represents like a wall that has a service area underneath. You can't store stuff underneath there. So it essentially is useless space if you can't put something in it. Yeah.
Yep. And that's how my father-in-law felt, who, constantly is doing remodels. So he's like, let's just tear out the whole kitchen.
Ooh, okay.
And that just started a big old gut, including the bathtub, which is a time for another story because then I had to live with my mother-in-law. So we got to get her in here and talk about the months I lived with her.
We definitely have to get her in here. Jan.
So, yes, circling way, way, way back. So, yes, now a bathtub has to be put in this house, and it goes in my main bedroom. And little Ethan, like John said, pretty much was in my bathroom taking baths and then graduated to showers. And then eventually we're like, get out of our bathroom. And
so he started showering in your bathroom, not even that other bathroom.
yeah, just initially.
Okay,
Well, you know why? I'm going to totally wrap myself out. I didn't want him all the way across the house in the guest bathroom, which has a shower in it, because the middle Jack and Jill one I used for years as like the shower storage for like Christmas presents and
Oh
stuff.
my God.
Because he would.
Oh my God.
I know. I will say, I'm very lucky. Is not
And there's
a no-
really not a lot of like reason that you should have been using
No,
that for
absolutely
storage
not.
because you have a big enough house that it could have been other places.
Yes, but just was not nosy enough. I said to John one time, man, if he opens the shower door, Christmas is over. So it made no sense. But so then he was going into maybe 4th or 5th grade, and it was like, dude, do you think earlier, John?
No, I think it was like 6th grade.
It was late. It was late.
Puberty started, and I was like, get out.
But
Like,
wait. You didn't decide to go back to the original design and put a door in and take the bathtub out? You don't need it anymore, right? You
Oh
needed
my
him for baby
God,
time,
no.
and then he'd have access through the hall and not be able to bother you.
But it is, you're not far off in the sense of that bathtub for years, because between him being in it and taking baths in it, even our dogs getting baths in it, the allure of taking baths really got lost. Like for me.
Once your dog is bathed in it, you're
And I
like, I'm
bathed
good.
him all the time. I'm like, forget it. So now John is
you're
saying
more-
6th grade.
John is saying 6th grade. I was just going to say, you're much more of a jacuzzi person. Like, if you want to relax.
I do not like jacuzzis in the house. No.
No, I meant like go into your
outside.
outside jacuzzi if you want to relax.
I'm not, but like my husband
But here's
is,
the
so you
deal.
just go
This
along
is
with
a
it.
secret about me. Now as I've gotten older, I really don't love a wet bathing suit. So I'd rather do all that naked.
Oh, this is not a secret that you have just.
I know,
well,
but then
it's
like
a recent
now you have
thing,
a
but-
teenager.
I know.
So like, have you ever been caught by your teenager nude in the jacuzzi? That's not a fun thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. So it's a more effort. I got to decide I want to put on the
A
bathing
jacuzzi
suit.
with some charcuterie. How many other words can I come up with that are fun to say?
Jacuzzi, charcuterie.
Yeah. So,
Get a Brazilian. It's going to be great.
oh my, well, God, they does not need to see that. So anyway, it's a little more effort. I got to be in the right mood. But yes, I do like a jacuzzi.
Okay, hold on one second. Rosemary, did you just say that maybe you have been caught naked in a jacuzzi?
I was like, oh, maybe they didn't catch that one. Because, yeah, you don't think, like, your teenager's like at work. Like, he was at a job. Like, So me and Kirk are like, great, let's watch a movie and have a jacuzzi. And like all of a sudden he's like at the sliding door. We're both like, ah. We're like, don't come outside. And he's like, I'll be scarred for life. We're like, what are you doing home? And he's like, I came home for lunch or dinner or something. And we're like, don't come outside. He's like, don't worry, I won't.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then he was like, God, what are you guys thinking? We're like, that you have a life and are like out of the house.
This is our house.
And wet
Can
bathing
I
suits are
ask
pointless.
what you decided to watch in the nude jacuzzi?
Oh, I think it was just a movie. It was nothing.
They have that.
Nothing
exciting. No, I was like, did it ruin something for him? He's like, now I can never watch Game of Thrones.
Wait,
No, you could still watch Game of
wait, is this house, the current house?
Yes.
Oh my.
No, our old house was like the worst jacuzzi. It was literally like a geyser. You got in and you're like, ah! It assaulted you. It was horrible.
Not relaxing.
It was an enema.
It did feel like a recent story just because I know that jobs are a much more recent occurrence with the
is.
boys.
Yeah.
Right,
And
right,
it was
right.
like, why are you home? Like, shouldn't you be at work?
Okay,
And I
did you
was like-
say which
It's completely
boy it
Luke.
was?
It was Luke.
I mean, it did sound like it was going to be Luke, but I just wanted
Just
to get
be-
on record who it was.
Just be thankful he came to the sliding glass door, not the balcony.
Yeah.
and saw right down into
I
the
mean, we did
jacuzzi.
have the bubbles going. It's not like you
a
could
little
see
bit of
anything.
camouflage.
As Mark likes to say, tit soup. So
Well, it's not just tits.
And then
Got
we're
some
like,
nuts in
God,
there,
where
too.
where is he in the house so we can get out?
Where were the towels? Weren't they accessible?
They weren't close
So,
enough.
Liz,
no.
you're not a fan of a ceviche, a cold soup. I got it. Okay, got it.
A tit soup.
and you missed Ed. He goes, and add some nuts in there.
Yeah, tits and nuts.
Oh my God.
This sounds horrific.
Yeah. So, yes, I typically do not make the big effort now to go in the jacuzzi because I don't want to have that happen to me. 'cause-
Well, and he doesn't have a job. He's around a lot.
yes, he's lurking often.
And he brings all his friends over.
Oh,
that would
gosh.
be a real horror
Yeah,
show.
that actually happened last night. So fast forward, now he's in the Jack and Jill bathroom taking 45-minute showers, and it's just epic. But he's walking across the hall, and but we're not dealing with kind of like. Now he's taller than me. It's a lot of hormones. It's just he's just a lot.
He needs his personal space.
and his room really needed like a total.
Well, it was
like,
still
it was a baby room.
It was still the baby
he
color
was in a
anyway.
twin bed
Yeah.
too, which
Oh, mhm.
listen, most people. I think I slept my entire youth on
Oh,
a twin bed,
I
so
did,
I'm
yeah.
not judging that in any way. I'm just saying that, like, okay, if we're gonna move you, like, and so I came up with one night, lying in bed, like, oh, what are we gonna do here? We either gotta gut his room and.
Wait, just so everybody understands the layout, you've said it's a Jack and Jill bathroom. So it's your office on one side and then Mark's changing room
Guest
/ annex closet, guest bedroom.
Catch-all.
Like yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So just so I and everyone else is clear
Right.
on where we are.
Now-
and then he was across the hall in his
bedroom.
original baby bedroom that had
Yeah.
been slightly updated as
Yeah.
he aged, but still the same.
Very youthful
Yeah.
for going into high school, and now having a lot of his friends are sophomores, and they really like to hang out at our house. And
Oh, geez.
he came and he's like, "Oh, they just made fun that I still have my stuffed animals out." You know what I cared? Not at all. I'm like,
okay,
okay,
really?
well.
okay, but I was like, all right, well, are we ever going to move on from this? And I,
I mean,
knew
he has watched Stranger Things. He knows how it's going to go for him. He's going
Yeah.
to get a big haircut change. Oh, wait, no, it'll never be the different haircut. But something will change. He'll
Yes,
be like,
exactly.
oh, yeah, I'm going to get rid
well,
of
that's
this.
I will
At
not
some
do a
point.
fade haircut. Is that that's what it's called, John? Right?
Sure.
A fade. Okay, so
Well, where it's shaved in the back, kind of, or whatever.
I don't
or
know.
Close on the sides. I don't know what's
the
happening.
haircuts have always been an issue with him because he'll have an opinion. He had super long, fabulous hair, and we just took him to Floyd's.
It was excessive.
Yeah.
Go on.
Did you not hear he was on some Zoom with who knows what other children? And there was a lot of times like, oh man, my school picture, I look like a girl.
Which I was like, with gorgeous hair, but God.
Yeah, and what's wrong with that? You have
during
gorgeous
COVID,
hair.
Yeah, during COVID, the Catholic school did not enforce the short haircut. So a lot of kids had super long, unique hairdos.
I mean, the awesome thing about long hair is maintenance. You don't have to keep up on cutting it. So I understand long hair.
he had great hair, but then I was like, all right, now you're going to go back for your 8th grade year and you got to have a haircut.
Yeah.
And that turned into at Floyd's. He sat down and got his hair cut. And I remember looking at the woman that cut his hair and looking at him, and I'm like, she just gave you her haircut.
Oh,
So he's like, now he voices his opinion a little more. But anyway, so now we're trying to, you got to grow up a little bit, dude. So
Yeah.
I'm lying in bed thinking, what am I going to do here? Am I either going to have to gut his bedroom? Like, just in the sense of, how am I going to get a larger bed in there? I'm just lying in bed thinking about it. And I thought, oh, you know what we ought to do? Because also he'd been taking over the den to play games, to watch movies with his friends. And Rosemary had also said he's really going to need a desk and a place to do his homework. That it might go late at night. So if he's in the general areas, it's going to drive you insane. So,
well, and I also said, can you get him out of your freaking den? Like, what the hell? You guys have to watch like a 12-inch screen when he's got all
anything
his
for
friends.
our child.
I'm like, this is lame.
Yeah.
He's dominating all your public areas. Like, who cares?
yeah, he needs
like
his
he's going to be
area.
gone in 4 years. Like, transition him out now. Like, it's like.
Oh, Rosie's so harsh.
I'm like, because it would suck. I came over to watch Real Housewives, and we're like sitting
In the kitchen.
watching a 12-inch screen. I'm like, I'm gonna go home. Like, I don't give a crap that he's like playing video games.
Don't
I'm like,
disturb him, Rosemary. No, just
I
kidding.
know that you have an IMAX screen next door to this, but let's watch this in the
the
lobby.
golden child shall not be
Yep.
disturbed.
So I came up with the idea of like, hey, the guest bedroom can become his main bedroom. Then he'll have the Jack and Jill bathroom to himself. And then my office will become his office and like gaming room and like a little hang area. So as Mark said, his room of suites, like now he has his own apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his
little
own
apartment.
wing of the house.
So now bringing it up to pretty much current, I lay this plan out to Mark. He's like, well, where are all my clothes going to go?
Yeah.
Of
We're
course
like,
I
who
didn't
cares?
I didn't even.
We're like, who cares about you?
I was like, wait.
They're going in the shower.
The
in the other bathroom.
garage.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
the garage.
Store 'em
I don't
there.
know. Like, I was like, I didn't.
Do you need clothes?
Yeah, we were like halfway through the movie day, and I was like, oh, now I finally understand. Ethan is gaining a room. You remain with, you have an office. You still have an office. Mark is just losing a room.
Mark's the loser in it, pretty much. That's why we did it when he was away. He came home, and I was like,
Oh,
look, but I colorized your closet.
Oh, God. Now, our sister Gigi, who we wanted here today, our youngest, is Rosie's good at organizing. So are you, Catherine. Mom always used to say that. in
Yeah,
our
just to
youth.
get us to do annoying chores.
I mean, that's true.
You're so good at organizing. Why don't you redo all the Tupperware?
I mean,
the
for
Tupperware
sure.
was a constant issue. Good Lord, let's not get on that one.
So both of my sisters, I think, okay, I'm going to have you come over. John, we'll figure this out. But the morning of...
Are you even for real?
What?
Okay, not to rat you out. So this plan came up like, was it was more than a month ago.
Yes, because Rosie came over and measured the rooms with me.
Yeah,
and
and,
then
she'd been putting it off.
No, she was doing very important furniture shopping, but not buying. And then it was finally, we're doing this. There's no plan, just do it.
Furniture shopping.
Right, and
what,
my
for,
whole
like, a
thing
desk?
was like, Liz, you want to buy the furniture, so when you do it, the transition is seamless. Did she buy the furniture? No. Then she's like, oh, well, why are those desks going to take so long? I'm like, because you didn't order them 3 weeks ago. So.
This is just denial. Because I also there's a little part of me that can be afraid to commit to change because this was going to be a bit, yes. This is 14 years of Ethan in the same bedroom. It's like, and I just knew, I mean, he had this really beautiful built-in bookcase that came, when we bought the house. There was so many tchotchkes.
Oh my God, that was hell watching him go through the tchotchkes. I was like, wow, he's going to keep every single thing.
Well,
I
he's
never,
a keeper.
I never walked in the room while that was happening.
Oh, I was like, this is so irritating. I'm like, Virginia was handling it. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to keep that. I'm like, shouldn't it go in your memory box? Like, you really want to have that little robot out in your room like a freaking 10-year-old? I'm
Yeah.
like, no, because my boys are memory box. Like, just put it in the memory box.
And
give
when
it
you
to
have your own
kids.
house, yeah.
Shine it.
Yeah. You don't need it out. Like, it's kind of embarrassing.
Well, yes. So it
He
was
might
a
get
lot
there.
to
He's
go through.
maybe not
like
there
that.
now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
Mark says the hoarder doesn't fall far from the tree. So
Meaning what?
that you're a hoarder.
I am?
Have you met yourself? You're not a bad hoarder because a hoarder could imply that you're keeping bad stuff.
Okay.
You have nice stuff, so it's worth keeping.
But also, like, you're implying that, like, you can't walk through my house. Like,
No,
Not that kind of horror.
Yeah. I mean, there's different.
I'm a collector.
Yeah. Okay. Let's put it as collector.
I'm not going to put a hard measure on this because I'm not trying to be mean to either of you. But between you and Mom, the plan versus the hoarder, Mom's gotten out of control. You are still in control of your
the plan.
of the plan
Yes.
versus your hoard.
There's a
you
place
have a
for your
plan
stuff.
for all the stuff you're using.
Yeah.
So did Mom. Most of those aren't going to happen now.
Yeah, they've all kind of gone by the wayside.
7,000 of these. When are you going to use them? Well, I was going to. No, you're not doing that, though. So now there's just this taking up this entire thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Clean that out.
Unfortunately, it goes farther than that. She never has a plan. You actually do. You keep Liz, you keep things neat. But yes,
She has a lot of stuff.
Yes, but on the other hand, it stays neat, and there is a place for things.
Yes.
Now I'm going to have to complete clean out. You guys.
No.
No,
No.
she always says this. You don't need to do that.
I have a way to measure this. There are things that you either are using or you are planning on using and will never use. If you don't use your china, that's a barometer. If you don't bring your china out on the special event nights and use it like Mom used to, then that is just taking up space and that's hoarding. Whereas now mom's china that takes up an entire cabinet. An entire cabinet is never used. We have not used it in a decade.
Okay.
So that's now
But I
hoarding
think
that.
the thing
Whereas, like,
now I'm going to be on your side, Liz, because I have many things that I really like and don't always use.
Right.
Like my china. Like I think I've only used my china like 3 times. Because I just don't have the nice times to use
The
it, whatever.
lifestyle.
But it's like
you don't have or you don't make the nice times, because that's really what it is. If you make the nice times, then you will use it.
I have lots of
There-
nice times. I just don't have enough china for the nice.
There aren't that many big occasions at Mom's house anymore. It's hard to run the events there. Everybody else has got a better setup, a bigger house, more space. So there aren't that many times when we would even break the china out. But it's not like on her radar at all. It's not coming out.
Yeah, I mean, Mom is in her mid 70s, but my mother-in-law actually has probably like 4 or 5 sets of beautiful china that up until about 10 years ago, if you went over to dinner at her house, it would be in rotation. I will say my wedding china, I've got to go look. I don't know if I have service for 6 or 12.
I think it's 12.
If I
It's a
have
lot.
service for 12, you're right, Ed. Now I'm going to use it in spite of you.
You did use
That's
it.
why.
Though.
I
bringing it
absolutely
up
used
to
to.
say, like, well, use it then.
And I've got amazing
You have to hand
like
wash it.
crystal goblets, but
we do use those.
But for Thanksgiving, I actually bought knockoff versions of those because there were so many young kids running around. I thought, well, if they break one of my crystal ones that are like significantly expensive to replace, I'd be irritated. But the knockoff versions, who cares?
Not so much, yeah.
But no, you're not wrong. But yes, I have
So I
everything.
think-
I have a lot, but it's all pretty organized.
the truth of it is how long have you lived in your house? 14 years?
I would say 16 or 17 because we
Yeah,
were in it
it's
2
long.
or 3 years before we had Ethan.
So I think you moved into it. Luke was a baby. Mm-hmm. So, 16 years.
Right, right.
But I think the part of my point is you've been in the house for 16 years. So you haven't really had to do the purge that happens when you move.
Yes.
And so, like, moving your child's
how many times have
room-
you moved?
We've moved 10 times in our marriage.
What?
Holy crap.
It's been 10 times?
I'm pretty
So it's
sure.
almost every 2 years on the average.
On the average. We moved a lot in the beginning, and then we were in one house for like 9 years.
Whoa.
So we moved several times.
Because you
in the
even
beginning.
rented once or twice.
Yes, we rented once.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. That was Madonna's backup singer's house.
Oh God, whatever. She was so full of herself. I was like, it's like we get the whole house cleaned when we move out, and she's like, it smells like chemicals. We're like, because we cleaned it.
You could just
like,
open a window.
Can we just get back our deposit now? Crazy. So to think you've been in the same house for 16 years,
Yes.
there's not a reason to move around. You weren't having other children where it's like, you got to move out of that bedroom so that we can make way for the baby, or we're moving. So you don't go through your things and nobody has to transition.
Right.
But like growing up, all of us together, the bedrooms are moving and the people are moving in the house because people are going away to college and babies are being born and fights are happening. And so, we needed to constantly be moving around.
I know. Mom and Dad must have been so annoyed. They were in one bedroom, which is Mom's bedroom until her stroke. No. Were they in the front of the house?
Yeah,
Or
We
they
were in the
were.
front of the
They
house.
were in the front of the
they're
house.
in the front of the house.
We were in that bedroom first. All of
Right,
us girls.
yes.
Yeah, the
were
four
in
girls.
in the bedroom at the front of the house first. Because I remember jumping from our bunk bed to like the crib or something.
I'm surprised you didn't go straight out the damn window.
Well, and I also remember the bunk bed falling on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a full Step Brothers moment. That part of the movie where they make their own
But
bunk
this was
beds.
a legitimate bunk bed, and I don't know, I was jumping on it or I
And
don't
you
know.
crushed me.
But
I don't
Katherine
know.
had her own
Are you sure
corner.
you're talking about the legitimate bunk bed? Because there were some like bookshelf bunk beds that were put.
No, this was
we had
a
a real
legitimate
bunk
bunk bed.
Okay.
I mean, it got
It could be
Not all
two
of them
twin
were.
beds, but it had like
It looked
sockets where it put it
exactly
together.
like a Brady Bunch bed.
Yeah.
It was like you had these adapters that
Mm-hmm.
did work. Although, if some moron like Rosemary's jumping on the top of it, yes, it like
You
shifted
get a little lift,
the
and then it's out of
match-
the socket.
Yeah, and then crushed your sister below.
Yeah, she was fine.
And then Catherine had a little alcove twin
Yeah,
bed.
I had a
and
little-
that
She was
none of
like-
us were allowed in that area.
But
That was my own
wasn't it
special
like
spot.
The underside, like, so obviously the top bunk is supposed to be the best, but the bottom bunk provides you an entire underside like storage area where you could like stash.
But I
stuff.
think part of
I did do that, Ed. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I think part of what happened is we had that front bedroom all together, and it was kind of chaos. Virginia was a baby, and then it was like Katherine just was like crazy obsessive about her stuff, and was like hated us being with her.
yeah, I mean that's probably accurate.
And it was the Mary statue that was the breaking of the
yes!
camel's
What-
back, because somehow she was obsessed with this Mary statue.
A Blessed
I had,
Virgin.
Okay, so I did have
Blessed
this,
Virgin Mary.
Yeah, I had this little alcove corner thing. It was kind of like there was a sloped roof because we were in the front of the house
Yeah.
or whatever. I had my bed nestled under there, and then as a nightstand, I had some little tiny green table,
Oh,
and I
yeah,
had put like
that's-
a
I think that's
doily.
still
Where is
around.
that
We still
green
have that.
table?
It's still
have that,
around.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had put a doily on it or something.
Yes.
And like I had a Mary statue that someone had given me for
Mary.
probably, I don't know, first communion
communion.
or something.
From Dad's store, I'm sure.
And I mean, ironically, because I'm not religious at all now, but I was like, I had my little prayer corner and like, you know, whatever.
You were
And-
buying into it.
Oh
back
yeah,
then.
I was back then, and I don't remember what else was on it. But you're right. I think something catastrophic happened and it got broken.
because you would not let us touch it or be around it. And me and Liz were like co-conspirators on the hate.
we
for, like,
we were the
this-
worst. Mom used to call us the puppies because we would get together with each other, and the playing and the tussling and the laughing would turn to fighting and wanting to kill each other. But we were so close in age.
Then we'd have to like cuddle and make up.
Then we fell asleep on each other.
Oh my God, you guys are
And so she was
ridiculous.
so obsessed about this thing. So
Coveting
somehow,
her
and
Blessed
I don't know
Virgin.
if Liz remembers how it happened, but somehow it ended up going out the bathroom window and breaking.
What?
And I don't remember how that happened, but it was broken in the backyard, and had somehow we knew that it went out the bathroom window
Because
the second floor.
Oh God, I
Do
kind
you remember how that? Because I'm like, I had nothing to do with it, but I probably did.
You absolutely did.
I was too young to remember.
Okay, so something happened where then we decided like we needed to repair it with like markers in the bathroom. And the thing is, the only place
Oh, it needed to be prettier.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give it a makeover,
something, or
like
we
a Barbie.
we did something, and now we're gonna fix the chip, and like we had markers, and the only place you could be
my God, how do you
privately
remember that?
locked, like in a locked bathroom.
So it was only partially broken at this point.
yes. Yes. So this is what
Let's
happened.
fix it.
So
It's
we
still
decide,
repairable,
okay, in
maybe.
the upstairs bathroom, I'll meet you there. Go get the markers. We can do this. And you could lock the bathrooms, and those are the only two places
Oh,
in the
that's
house.
the only
if you,
privacy,
if you
yeah,
shut
for
the
sure.
door and locked it, they'd be leaving you alone.
Well, the pounding on the door, but you
yes,
couldn't- yeah.
but nothing can be more obvious than Rosie and Liz in there together, like, like what the hell are you two
What
up
are
to?
you conspiring to do?
100%.
something's going on.
We did some little repair, and then our idea to make it dry was
Oh,
to
no.
hold it out the window.
In the sunlight.
In the sunlight, like shaking it. Like we were young. If you were
This
first,
is the most terrible idea.
if you were like
I'm
8 or
sure you read
9,
the
we were like
instructions
7
on
and
the
Well, she would
5.
be like,
and
if
it said
she's-
dry and direct
yeah. Oh my
sunlight.
But if she's getting her first communion, she's 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So you're like,
I'm 7,
and I'm
maybe.
like 5 or 6, following your lead, which is not
Obviously
good.
Never been a good
terrible.
idea.
I'm like, yes, let's shake it outside the window. Oh, shit.
So we're trying to dry
And
our
we have to
repair
stand
job.
in the bathtub because we're short.
Yeah.
So we're probably standing on the side of the
Tippy-toes.
bath. I'm surprised we didn't fall out the window at this point. Or that none of us ever fell out a window.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause we were
I
always
mean-
like not having screens on the house and then having screens.
Oh, no,
Not
one
to
of us
mention
got
climbing out on that ledge in that front room. Like,
we did that.
Seriously, how is
yeah.
Dad the only one that's fallen off the roof out of all of us? And
Yeah.
for sure, we have not had permission to be going out on the roof and gone out there and done and not fallen.
He was just unlucky.
We would go exploring on that little ledge and we would do crazy stuff.
We'd have
But
little
yes,
parties
that
out
is
there.
how the Blessed Virgin.
Oh my
So
God.
that was the catalyst for Katherine being like, I cannot be in this room.
Are
with
you
this girls
serious?
anymore.
That's actually what
Yes.
happened? Oh my God, that's so funny.
that's how it happened.
Because I don't even know if we ever fully admitted it.
No, we didn't.
But
Somehow she
this
flew
is,
out
yeah,
the
this
window.
is the full. Yes, this
It was a miracle.
It was a miracle. She wanted to go up to Jesus.
You've heard of a Hail Mary before. Well, this is where it came from.
So this is we did. Of course, Rosie and I just. I mean, the guilt look on our face
We're
must
like,
have given
"Oh,
us
I
away.
don't
But
know."
we're like, God, how did that happen? I don't. That's crazy sounding. But you suspected it was us. And
Rightly so.
demanded. And at this point, Mom and Dad's bedroom had a little, almost like a little alcove side room, and that is where the current baby in the crib would usually be. They then put
Yeah,
up
it was like a mini room.
Right. That's where they put up a wall, which is probably still not legal to this day.
No.
And they made their larger bedroom into 2 bedrooms. So
Right.
the
And it was
upstairs
Dad's
became
office for a minute.
4 bedrooms instead of 3.
Right.
I didn't ever really track. That's why that closet is so useless and small, and that whole room is so useless and small.
Well, because
it's
it was
kind of
Dad's
alcove
like
off of the main room.
office for a minute.
Yeah.
And then like
Slash-
But the baby was in the room with us, who was Virginia.
Yeah.
And then when he
Right by an open window. I mean,
I know. It's just all.
she could have crawled right out.
So
What,
then
are the
Katherine,
fairies going to steal her? I mean, take it easy.
yeah, she was really cute. So then Katherine said she needed her own room, and Dad gave her his office.
Is that what? Did I
Yes.
have that to myself?
yes.
I don't
And then
remember
they
being there by
moved
myself.
into the front room, and they were in that room for like ever after that.
Yes,
And
yeah.
Dad had like a desk in
Until,
there.
listen, Dad passed away. I mean, it was like that was their
That
bedroom.
was their room. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Which
so
is kind of cool to have like 2 steps down into it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So then for a while, all 3 of us girls, the 3 younger, were in our parents' old bedroom.
Right.
Catherine had her own room, and then
As it should be.
and
I
the
should
2
be-
boys.
Yeah.
The 2 boys were in their own room.
And to be clear, the 2 boys being the oldest brothers, not the 2 boys that
And
are here.
Eddie wasn't around just yet.
And then to further clarify, that move happening, Mom and Dad moving into that bedroom that I sleep in now because I'm at Mom's house, probably where I was conceived.
Yes, it is.
Oh my God, you're right. But then you actually ended up at one point. You were in our closet. It was full Harry Potter. in your
Oh,
little-
that's right.
That
That's
bed was
so
awesome.
weird.
It was so
Where
dark.
is
and
that
cozy in
bed? That
there.
little sled bed. It was
That
so
little
cute.
toddler
It
bed.
was a toddler bed, yeah.
Yeah, it was very cute. Like you open the Heather McDonald will still say, "It's the greatest thing." You'd open the closet door, and there Eddie would be like, "Hi."
But then for some reason, me and Liz would go through times where we didn't really get along. So then I moved into the little tiny room with you for a bit, if you remember correctly.
Oh, yeah. I do
And you-
remember, yeah.
And you taught me all kinds of things. You were
Oh.
like, this is how you do your hair.
She never taught me
She
anything.
gave me a perm. Like,
Never.
I was like her little doll.
Never.
Like, let's give her a perm and like all kinds of stuff.
Rosemary has all kinds of great memories of me. So there.
Oh yeah, and then listen. I mean, then the
It's true.
downstairs room.
You taught me how to get rid. God, your pores are really clogged. We need to deal with that. Like you were like obsessed with it. I was
Oh,
like,
really?
well, it didn't
Okay.
help. Now that's
Wait, so was no one in the downstairs bedroom?
No,
at this
because
No.
the downstairs bedroom at that point. Remember, we would have family friends, and Kathleen, who
Oh,
we
yeah, she might have even been here
Kathleen-
during all
Janet
of
For sure was there.
before that.
mom's
that. Kathleen
cousin.
was there for like most of high school.
Yeah, mom's cousin Joni's daughter. I can't remember her name right off the top of my head now, but she actually lived with us at least for a summer. It wasn't like they were like living nannies. I mean, they kind of lived with us and they would have jobs, and I
Maybe
don't
help a little
really
bit.
remember
Yeah.
Kathleen almost ever babysitting us, but
She did not.
she did. I think one time, and I got a tack in
She
my
was
knee.
really bothered by most. Oh, I remember the tack in the knee.
I really milked it up because she said she'd give me a treat if I would allow her to pull it out. And it wasn't really hurting me that bad, but I was like,
It
all
looked
right.
very dramatic.
I was like, all right, you're going to give me a treat? Okay.
Hello, Ethan.
Yes. I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm able to walk again. So anyways, that downstairs room and we'll get into that one, but people will come and live with us. You asshole, Catherine. I just remembered a story.
What? Oh.
No, we can't jump that far ahead.
No, we can't.
Okay, so let's get through the Middle Ages.
Yeah, wait. We were going to circle back to Ethan. Maybe we should not, because there's so many good stories of us swapping rooms, and especially trying to decorate our own rooms that I don't even know. Should I try to wrap up just the current Ethan?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, wrap up the current
Yeah,
Ethan.
the
And then we
current story of
right.
moving that will
Right, 'cause-
unravel other stories.
I mean, I'm just going to put a pin in it so we remember someone living with us and the drama Susan.
Oh, my friend Susan?
Yes.
Oh. I mean, look, we had even you had like friends come and stay.
Yeah, I'm like, Liz, that's like the pot calling the kettle black. How about Heather?
Oh, well, that's not
And
fair.
not Heather
There's a lot
McDonald,
of
true.
different Heathers back in the day. That's how you get a movie called Heathers,
I really
right?
think the movie Heathers was based on my high school experience. Anyway, so all right, bring
back
it
to Ethan.
back up to speed. So now I've come up with this great plan. What I think is a great plan. Obviously, Rosemary's annoyed at me because I've ordered no furniture, as she's pointed out, to do this. We've not pre-painted. Virginia kept saying, "Do you have enough storage bins?" I'm like, yeah. I mean, so I wake up. This is about the week before Ethan's going to start school. And John and I, we're business partners with a lot of our projects that on a daily basis he's over working. And it's like, so he shows up, what are we going to do today? I'm like, ha ha, he. We're moving rooms around. I think I might have prepped you the night before.
Yeah, there was some. I mean, look. So Mark went out of town for a couple days, and there had been
Yes.
talk of like, well, let's do it. Well, because then there was, oh my god, a week or two before that, Ethan was out of town. And like, oh, we'll do it when Ethan's not there. We didn't do it. And then Mark's out of town. It's not the perfect time. Oh, we're gonna do it after the weekend on the day he comes back. And I think he told me the day before.
Well, she had been putting it off.
I've been putting it off, and now Virginia can really
A taskmaster.
just ball bust you. It's like, we're doing it tomorrow. I'm coming over.
You need that.
I barely slept. I was so nervous.
Oh, geez.
Just because she,
Oh, my
I
God.
knew.
Hello, Ethan. Jeez.
I just knew
know.
like this is gonna get going, and Rosie's coming over, and so wake up, and I'm just like, kind of also thinking like, I don't really know if I've prepared for anything. so it just starts, and it is like you cannot stop Virginia, man. I mean, she has this one thing she kept saying for now.
For now.
She'll say, okay, we'll just put the
For now.
We're just
For
gonna
now.
put
We'll
it there
just
for
do it
now.
for now.
We're just
For
gonna do
now.
this for now. And I'm going, oh my gosh, the entire thing is just for now. Like,
It's
wait a
like
minute, like, what the
chaos is
hell?
all for now.
So, but she, like I said, she would take Ethan aside and be like, all right, let's go through all your stuff. Let's figure out this. Where's this going to go?
God, love
I
her.
mean, wozers. And then she got my dolly out of the garage. I mean, her and John are like fully moving.
I mean, your 9-foot bureau, a couch, a bed. It was funny. I knew we were doing it that day, but as usual, I came in sandals because like whatever. We're like moving a bunch
His
of
flip-flops.
tchotchkes around. Like, what's the big deal? And I said in the middle of the day, I was like, I did not think this through. How much furniture we're moving?
That's a lot.
Because then there was some other bureaus like where I forgot the Mark's bureaus. I was like, oh, we're moving these.
Because mom and dad had this really cool furniture set that they had in that bedroom. And then eventually, after dad passed away and mom moved her bedroom completely, she wanted to get rid of the pieces. And there was one stand up bureau that I always thought was such a cool piece. And in my old house, I'm like, no, I want that. So I've had it.
Tall and has like a thing on the top a little bit.
It's just very
really
cool.
interesting.
It's very
Yeah.
60s.
Do we know the answer to this? Rosie, did you try and throw it away after the earthquake and Liz saved it, or what happened?
Yeah, probably. Because it's not a
Nailed it.
great
Well, also,
quality piece of furniture.
It needs to be. Rosie and her judgment.
I mean, it's not. It's like a laminate wood 60s
Ye-
piece of furniture. It's not like a classic looking.
Oh,
No, but it has some nostalgia.
It has nostalgia. It's
Well,
dated,
now I gotta
let's just
get rid
say.
of that too. Now you've ruined that too. I'm a hoarder, and now this piece
It's
of
fine.
furniture.
Where you have it in your house, it's fine. It serves its purpose.
Yeah, that was one of those for nows I really didn't expect. It moved into your bedroom. I was like, what? How? Because you guys did a furniture move in there, which was unexpected.
I
Yeah, we
know.
had to.
Because Mark
needs his
Mark
clothes,
literally
apparently.
lost his room. So he's away having the most relaxing, fabulous time in Mexico with 8 of his friends, like having a fabulous vacation. So Rosie's like, oh, fuck him. He'll be fine. But I had to text him like, hey, so we started the room transition.
Oh,
Get
wow.
ready when you get home, because I was like, you're going to walk in to total chaos, which it was.
He handles it well.
Yeah, he handled it well. So, like I said, Virginia is just barreling through, like, clean this out, move this. For now, we're just going to put it in your main room. There's so much stuff in my main room. For now, we're just going to put it here. But then it's almost like you kind of cleared out the spaces, and then you're starting to put stuff back.
That's how it works. Like, you've forgotten over 16 years.
I absolutely have.
Like, what it's like to move. Everything explodes first, and
Yes.
then it all comes together. But it all has to explode first. Like,
Yes.
it all has to go off like a big bomb. You
It's
got
a
to
huge
deconstruct
mess.
to construct.
Yeah.
As long as you understand, we are going to dump this entire Lego thing out and then build
Yeah.
thing out of it. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Legos, it's like, I can't get rid of any of these Legos.
I
Okay.
was like, okay, what if I drop it? Then
Oh
get rid
my
of it?
gosh, if you dropped the Titanic,
kidding.
that would have been ironic, but wow. I mean, so they're just so.
Is it glued? No.
No, we didn't. What's the crackle?
Yeah,
No.
crackle.
We have been
crackle.
here. Liz has been talking about Rosie. Oh, she says the crackle for like 12 years.
Yeah, I know. I've not crackled any of his pieces. So the move happened.
Wow.
Now, the only person that really still feels put out is Mark.
Okay,
so
well.
he's like,
He deserves it, like to feel put out. He is.
why? Oh, no. I mean, he feels justified. He's justified in feeling that
Yeah,
way.
because
I thought you meant like he deserves
We're
it.
like,
I was like, why?
I guess you don't need all your clothes in one closet.
Oh, it's such a nightmare.
But I think they could all fit there. He just
Yes,
needs to get a different hanger.
I
The
think-
hanger was too long, remember?
I mean, you're talking about just the hanging clothes because it was funny. We thought his closet was like, it's not that big. It doesn't have that. Ooh, you had like 3 bars. Now you got 2.
Yeah, it's true.
I knew he's a financial advisor, so there's a lot of suits.
Suits a lot.
Yeah. So,
And
but
then-
Rosemary Kelly coordinated it all. So,
Yeah, and this is also separate from, the drawers of clothing. At least were nearby. Now they're in a different room.
Whoopsie.
so he tells me, he goes, I don't have any place to put my socks and underwear.
We're like, that's unfortunate.
You don't need those.
And the one idea came up with, he's like, I'm not going to be in a third room.
Oh, you didn't suggest going commando.
No, he's like, no, I refuse. And in the meantime, yes, I had not ordered the desks. And so Rosie powered me through that right there.
Was that a desk for you or a desk for Ethan?
a new desk for my office?
Yeah, this was part of the whole, we didn't have a plan. So it was like, okay, so yeah, Ethan's bed, quote unquote, mattress is on the floor in that room. Great. No bureau. There's a bunch of bins. Great. Your office.
For now.
We are going to move the office. So, Liz, you don't have a desk. Well, you got a folding table. Oh, okay.
For
good.
now. Yeah.
Well, we did have a plan. I came over and we made a whole plan.
I just
like
didn't
about a month and a
execute
half
it.
before. And I'm like not going to push her. Look, I've moved enough times. You have your plan and you know where things are going to go and what's not going to work and whatever.
Right.
And so it's like I always have a plan that I need a new something for this because that's not going to fit, blah, blah. She was not committing to any of it till the very last second. It's like,
It
well,
was-
now you have no furniture
It was so overwhelming.
for your transition.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I realize he's about to start high school. So if I'm going to do this move, I got to get it going. And so go on Wayfair. Shout out Wayfair. They don't sponsor us, but I order the bed and it says, of course, it's going to arrive before he starts school. I'm like, man, his bedroom's going to be dialed in to start high school.
Can't count on that.
Shipping delays. Like it
Oh,
only
no.
came yesterday. And of course, also Wayfair will give you the option, like they'll assemble it. You're like, please, I am not spending $300. Now that's me saying it damn well knowing I have no intention of assembling. It's like, I'm saying that like Mark is going to do it.
Yeah.
So he came and so the desks have come. John, what?
Oh, I was just, because this was of the many baby steps that have happened after the quote unquote finished move. He assembled the bed, and I mean, they gave you extra pieces. It was fine.
Extra dowels. The big thing we're missing.
That's odd.
The big thing in between that we got
yeah, I think that is an
there's
indication.
dowels supposed to be
Yeah.
somewhere in that bed. Ethan,
Okay, I'm like, did he follow the directions?
No, something
he
went wrong.
did, but
So there's a future bed collapse for him.
No,
sure.
it's actually it was an odder bed than you think, and maybe considering I didn't buy it, so I have no idea. But maybe you realize this because it was one of the ones that has drawers underneath, and
That's
you're like,
the problem.
wow, this frame is weird.
Complicated.
That's why I said to her, I said, you're going to get the frame one. Look, Jack was barely able to put together his bed from Wayfair, and it doesn't have the drawers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's going to be more complicated because you're going to have the running rails and all this. And she's like, no, I'm sure it's
It's
fine.
fine.
Hey,
Uh-oh.
are Wayfair's instructions in English? Because that's like a bonus. I'm talking IKEA, foreign language, and
Ikea's just like,
Or
yeah,
no, yeah,
use
no,
the schwackel. Got it. Got it.
Schlockle.
no, Wayfair
The
is.
schwackel and the friggle. Ah,
Wayfair is an
who's
English.
got the friggle?
The friggle. No, Wayfair does. Yeah, there were 75 steps, but yes, but we've missed a step. Ethan's room had been painted. It was baby color yellow when he lived in it, and then it got to be blue at some point. And now that he's out of it, it's like, oh, these walls have had a boy in this room
shit kicked out of 'em.
14
Yeah.
years.
First of
So
all, it's all just, I swear, I don't know why you don't agree with me. It was all from his water cup,
full
of ice, sweating on the wall.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
what it
no,
was from.
absolutely.
no, that section 100%. And then there was just other dings and
Well, when you take stuff off the
Yes,
walls.
exactly. So this is supposed to be my now office, and I'm like, God, it needs to be painted. Now, we're not going to get into it now, but the Killmond girls, and particularly Rosie and I, have a lot of childhood experience in painting rooms. So I felt like,
Mostly Liz going, yeah, let's do it, and then leaving, and me doing it.
yeah, well, to
Well,
some
there's-
degree,
I mean-
to some degree.
The Let's Do It also included a trip to like Franklin's Hardware and picking up a gallon of paint.
on
On our bikes.
hardware.
All right, we're not going to get into it, but all I'll say is that also Rosie and I decided to paint my office.
Yeah, how hard could it be?
Oh,
I'm like, this is why you hire people when
the
you're 50.
taping up alone. So current status is my office is painted, the desks are in. I need you to come over and merchandise accessorize with me, Rosemary.
Yes.
Ethan's bed arrived. The shipping delay is about a week late, but arrived, and Mark
Friday.
went through 75 steps and 6
74.
beers, and that's why there's 7 dowels left. We don't know where they go. And ironically, his bed is made up. He was supposed to sleep in it last night. He had a sleepover with 2 friends and slept in the den. I mean,
Oh,
this
come
is
on.
the ungrateful little jerk. So his room is coming together. So the big swap out is happening, and it's almost done, except for poor Mark has no place to put his underwear and socks. So we'll figure it out. But
That's a good update.
Yeah.
I mean, a very confusing and
and
complicated
of course,
thing going on.
it was
but-
about 100 plus degrees every single day doing this
It
in the
was
valley.
really hot. I was like, do you have the air on? It's like,
There were just in one room, there'd be like 4 grown adults. It was too much body heat. So, all right, well, that is what's currently happening. We do need to have Gigi back in here and we can talk about our childhood,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
decor, our own home renovation as children.
Interior design in childhood.
Yeah, that's really in quotes, interior design. I'll go in. Remember the name Susan?
Oh, and Heather, we're going to
And
talk
Heather.
about it.
Yeah, but the Susan one.
she really wants it to be on you. So we're going to.
Yeah.
Oh, is that why? Okay.
But that one had something particular to do with the decor choice I made that you did not like. And let's just give a shout out to the Blessed Virgin statue. The truth has finally come out. The truth has finally come out.
I'm obviously
we're
devastated
forgiven.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're forgiven.
That is probably where your pullback from your Catholicism started.
Yes. You said she's like, I put all this faith in her and she's broken.
Yeah. It's all our fault, Rosemary.
It's you guys.
It's
you guys
all
did
our
it.
fault.
Oh, my God.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode of Family Dynamics with a K. Please follow us on all of our social at Family Dynamics, once again, with a K. We appreciate you listening. Also, our Patreon is available where we rat each other out even more, I think.
Yeah, we do. Mm.
Thanks for joining us, Rosie.
You're welcome.
Rosemary.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to
Family
Dynamics.
Dynamics.